Salute to my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. And salute to my original subscribers for always holding your boy down. I really do appreciate that. Now, the fight of all fights. I remember one time the real fight was also this fight as well. Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. But Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua was acting like a sucker. But Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. Don't get no better than this, people. Don't get no better than this, people. Now, Bud Crawford, switch hitter. Lateral movement. Again, a lot of people call that running. I call it boxing. You know? Errol Spence, my homeboy's man. You know, the body snatcher. That go upstairs and then take it all the way down to the basement and break you all the way down. It's going to be a bomb burner, people. Smash the like button. Who will win this fight? Okay, Double R is going to give his prediction on who he believes. I can't even say who will win the fight, but I can tell y'all who will have a good chance. I look at the Errol Spence and Bud Crawford fight the same way, actually the exact same way I look at Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. It's all about who's able to impose their will. When you're at that level, when it's the best fighting the best, it's always, or 9 times out of 10, gonna always be, if it's really truly the best fighting the best. Not no Shakur versus Oscar Valdez, not no Haney versus Kambosos. We talking about truly Tank Davis versus Devin Haney, Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence. That's what we're talking about. And if we're talking about that, it's really about who's able to impose their will on who first. Now, Bud Crawford, I promise you guys, his style is going to be borderline a nightmare for Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence loves it. It's like, I look at Errol Spence like a Canelo fighter, even though I feel like Errol Spence is slightly better. You know, don't come for me, Canelo fans. That's just my opinion. Errol Spence said something, right? And he was right. He said he's the Tim Duncan of boxing with regards to him and Crawford. And Crawford is the KG. More finesse, more athletic, more quick in spaces. You know, Tim Duncan was more compact. He was more tight. You feel me? And that's what I was telling y'all with Devin Haney, how he gonna have to be against Tank. His shit gonna have to be real tight. He's gonna have to, you know, keep hammering home the basics, the fundamentals. That's why Tim Duncan was called the Mr. Fundamental. That's why Errol Spence is looked upon in the boxing circle as Mr. Fundamental. Because from everybody that I hear, from Greg Hackett, you know, to Blue Blood Sports TV, salute to Blue Blood, my brother, 78 TV, 78 Sports TV, you know, from Monty Brown, from everybody that I hear give an analysis on Errol True Spence, they say he's very tight and on point with his fundamentals. Now, T-Bud Crawford, very elusive, even at the age he's at, you know, has power. Let's not get that fucked up. Let's not go past that now. Has power. Knows how to finish you when you're hurt. That bullshit, I know Errol Spence to clean it up. That bullshit that I see, that me and my wife seen you do, Errol Spence, in that Ugas fight with that mouthpiece, you wouldn't have to worry about that mouthpiece because Terence Bud Crawford would have finished you. Without a shot of a doubt, he would have finished you. But now that we're past that, and I know Derrick James is going to be on his ass. He was on his ass in that, you know, in that fight. This is going to be a good one. This is when we talking about classics. People throw that word classic around too much. People throw that word, the best fighting the best around too much. No, this is actually a great versus a great. This ain't even the best versus the best. This is a great versus a great. If Terence Bud Crawford retires today, he's solidified. Is Errol Spence retired today, he's solidified. You know, that's what we talking about. We ain't talking about no disrespect, but we ain't talking about no Tank Davis versus no Rolly Romero, who we didn't fucking hear about until he fought Tank. We not talking about no Tank Davis, no disrespect versus Pitbull Cruz, even though I like that fight, you know, at the end all be all. Nah, when did nobody hear about these dudes before their name was attached and associated with Tank? We talking about two men that are their own entities. We're talking about Bud Crawford, Terrence Bud fucking Crawford, Errol the Truth Spence. That's what we talking about. The clash of the titans. The best of the best. You know, who will win? I don't know. But I promised y'all that I would tell y'all who I felt I would lean towards, who I'm leaning towards now, because things can change by the time the fight get close. Right now, I'm leaning towards Errol Spence. You know, Bud Crawford is hard, though. It's hard because I feel like Bud Crawford's ability is borderline a nightmare, a matchup nightmare for Spence. And I feel like Errol Spence's ability can really be a problem for Bud, too. Because we all know, as Errol Spence said, Bud is a little light in the ass. But Bud is country strong. He's not country strong, he's country strong. You know, he out here in camp, you know, doing German suplex in boxing camps and shit. Bud Crawford is strong, and we've seen it time and time again when he knocked people out. You know, will that shit work on Errol Spence? We do know Errol Spence has had issues. He had the car wreck. He had issues with his eyes, you know, with his eye. And it was funny because in the last fight, Errol Spence's last fight, I thought Ugas was going to try to expose that. You know, I ain't saying he didn't try to, but he failed. He failed. But not only did he fail, Errol Spence actually did what I thought Ugas should have did. I don't want to get Ugas and Alexander Usyk name mixed together, because sometimes I have a tendency of doing that. Yeah, he did what I thought Ugas should have did. I thought Ugas was going to expose that eye. But Errol Spence, I said, this motherfucker, not only did he beat him, but he did to this motherfucker what I thought he was supposed to do to him. Errol is indeed the truth. But will he still show that he's the truth against Bud Crawford? This is why this is a great fight. And I don't want to hit Errol fans, and I'm saying this a lot too. Errol Spence fans, it's quite different from Devin Haney and Tank, where Devin fans are very adamant that Devin will get the job done versus Tank, and Tank fans are very sure that Tank will get the job done. He'll walk Devin down and get him out of here. With Errol Spence and Crawford, it's like something I've never seen before, but I'm not surprised because of the society we're in. It's like Errol Spence fans is trying to protect him from Bud, and Bud fans is trying to protect him from Errol. Meanwhile, both fighters appear to really want to fight each other because both fighters know how important this shit is for boxing, period. Forget the division, for boxing, because this is the fight that the fans want. And y'all know Double R, even with battle rap, same with boxing. I'm all about the fans because I'm a fan. You know, it ain't no pocket watching, ain't none of that type of shit. It's about the best fighting the best. And this is truly the best fighting the best. But right now, I'm leaning more towards Errol. You know, it's something telling me that Errol he's his determination, man. To come out of that crash that he came out of, you know, to do Danny Garcia the way he did him, to do Ugas the way that he did him. You know, I ain't saying Bud Crawford ain't had no type of adversity and none of that shit. But I'm just saying, Bud Crawford is a different monster in itself. And Errol knows that. You feel me? That's why this is a great matchup. So I'm hearing through sources that this fight is close to happening. Um, I hope it is because I'm really interested. The world is really interested in this fight. But as we get closer to the fight, my opinion may switch. Because at first I did have Bud Crawford winning because this fight because I feel like Bud Crawford is going to present something to Errol. Remember, it's easy for people to say, you know, he's seen that style before. Yeah, but he ain't seen Bud Crawford before. Yeah, he's seen that style before, but he ain't seen Errol Spence before. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. I know y'all so used to seeing the so-called best fighting the best when it's really one person that's the best and the other person, is just subpar or okay. I know we're used to seeing that, or we're used to seeing two bums fighting all these sorry ass undercards and shit like that. I know we're used to seeing that, but this is people. It's truly the best versus the best. Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. Everybody wants to see it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just like everybody else. I can't pick a winner. Just like I said about Tank and Dev. You're only gonna find out when it actually happens. I'll be able to get a good understanding of who can possibly win in the first couple rounds. I'll be able to get a good, hint on who's gonna do what and how it's gonna play out. But right now, I don't know because when you're at that level and you have two people that are great, and they both have different abilities, it's all about who's able to get their best shit on first. Is Bud going to be able to move laterally and style and profile on Earl? Or is Earl going to be able to do what Earl does, and that's go upstairs, go downstairs, and break you down? Bat all that bullshit away like batting the fly away. Because that's what Earl does. Earl walks you down slowly but surely, like Canelo, slowly but surely walk you down, and then he swat all that bullshit away that you're trying to do. And it's like he take your manhood. He take your manhood. And he take your belts. That's what he does. But it's going to be very interesting, man. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm very interested in hearing you guys' thoughts. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to receive all the notifications for when I drop new content. It's funny how that noise want to stop now that I'm about to shut down. But it's all gravy. Peace.